What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how to do a variation listing on eBay with a spreadsheet instead of manually doing it on eBay to save a lot of time. eBay doesn't exactly explain this, how to do this well at all. So I had to kind of study a lot and look into it and figure out all the little quirks that make it work. Because I knew once I did know how to make it work, it would save a lot of time. You can do this with any variation listing. It really helps if you have a lot of variations, like with trading cards, TCG cards, or maybe postcards, something you have a lot of that you want a lot of variation on. eBay's max variations is 250, so if you have more variations than that, it's best to spread it out into separate listings. Today I'm going to be doing this with Magic the Gathering cards. I'm going to make a listing of all uncommons from one set. I also used ChatGPT in this to kind of speed up some of the process. I'll go into that later. I came into a large quantity of bulk Magic the Gathering cards, so the first thing I do is I sorted them by set, rarity, and finally alphabetically. So I started with this little batch right here. This is all the uncommons from Modern Horizons 2. This is all the uncommons that I have. So I have all these sorted alphabetically. The first thing you need to do for this is have a plan. The best thing to do is organize your inventory. You need to decide how you're going to sort it. The more organized you can be, the better. You can choose how you want to list it, whether it's by color, item, size, number, or other variables. So if you go on eBay and you want to download the template to start, you just need to go to Selling, Sellers Hub, create a listing, file upload. You want to get template, select a template source, choose listings, select a template type. You're going to do create or schedule new listings. File type, I use Excel spreadsheet. And now your category. So you can select up to 5 categories. I know mine is in toys and hobbies, collectible card games, CCG individual cards. It's good to remember this file path, toys and hobbies, so your category, CCG individual cards, and then download that spreadsheet. Like I said, you can start from scratch on this spreadsheet, or you can download the template that I'm going to put and then just change everything to what you need it to be. It kind of helps to know like what has to be in there, or you can start with scratch. So this is the Excel sheet that eBay has you download, and it's got all these intimidating rows. There's a lot of stuff here. You don't use all of them, but yeah, this goes on for a while. Don't let that intimidate you. If you go to my template here, this is one of my older listings. This is a Pokemon reverse holo variation listing. And if we go over here, so the action you put here is add, so that creates the listing. I believe you can also put draft here if you want, which might not be a bad idea. So your custom label and your SKU, this is actually the number for Toys and Hobbies collectible cards, CCG individual cards. This is the code for individual cards. I have it in custom label SKU. I'm pretty sure you need to have it in there. Usually SKU is like your own personal SKU, but this is different. So if you go here, here's how you find a custom label SKU. So if you just look up like whatever you're selling, I'm going to look up Magic the Gathering single. This is how you find the custom label SKU fast. So here's a single card someone's selling, and you want to come down here to the description and see how it says Toys and Hobbies collectible card games single cards. I'm going to click on that single cards. And up here in your search bar, it's not the last number, but it's the number right before that. That's going to be your custom label SKU for that category. So single cards, since I just clicked on that, is 183454. So I copy that and I put it here. Now when I said earlier you want to look at that file path, CCG individual cards, if you go over here to eBay, because you need this file path. So if you go to here to eBay and you look at the category, like say find an item like you're selling, and you want to see like what the path is. So it's Toys and Hobbies, collectible card games, single cards. So this is like the public view. It says single cards, but on the back end, it's really called CCG individual cards. This makes it another confusing thing you have to deal with. You would think the template they gave you would put this in there for you, but it doesn't. We want to know what our category is. I found this website. It's called isoldwhat.com. So we're going to go there. And we just go here to Toys and Hobbies. So what I would do is select that. I would just write this down somewhere. So Toys and Hobbies. So click on that, Toys and Hobbies. And then you go to collectible card games. select that. I'm going to paste that here. And then I'm going to click on that. And then it's going to be CCG individual cards. And I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put it here. So that's the real file path if you use isoldwhat.com. And it also gives you the number for that, which you put in the custom label SKU. So you'd have to write this out. Every time I click that, it's opened this website. So you have to write this out up here with slashes. So / toys and hobbies / collectible card games / CCG individual cards. Or you can use this template. But if you're doing something else, you're gonna have to figure out what that is from isoldwhat.com and not just do what it says on the eBay public view, because that can be different than what the actual back end file path is. Cool, so that's the category name. So think of this top level as your listing, and then all these are variations. Over here we got our description, then we've got our variation. So in front of every variation, I have card. You can make this be like choose your card, or you can make it whatever you want. So before each variation, I have card equals, and then what I want it to be. I used no spaces, and it worked for me that way. When I was using spaces, it didn't work. I'm just going with not using spaces on any of this. This is where I use ChatGPT, how you can see where it says card equals. I'm not going to type card equals in front of every freaking card. Like, that would be insane. So I'll show you how I use ChatGPT for that. So in this top row, relationship, if you can see up here, this lists out every single one of these cards in one search bar. So if I click on this, look at that. So up here in this top relationship details, it says card equals. You only need one of those, and it's literally listing out every single one of these cards with a semicolon in between with no spaces. So that's what actually drives this whole thing. So if you make this, if you've made a variant listing on eBay, you kind of can tell how there's a place where it shows like a listing of all your cards and then a listing of each of them separated. So that's basically what this is doing. But like I said, I don't type all this out. I use ChatGPT to make it, and then I just paste it in. So we'll be doing that today. And then over here you got your start price. That's just your price. Mine are all the same. I think I have a few that are higher, but you can price out each one of these variants differently if you want. And then you have your quantity. So the thing about quantity is there's a setting on eBay that makes this a lot easier. Well, I like it more because say I have a quantity of 0 on something, but I want it to still show. If you don't change a setting on eBay, it's just not gonna show it. So say I acquired this card one time and I just wanted to go on eBay and enter in that I had it. I'd have to like start this all over and put it in there, or manually go in there and put it in there. But I want cards that I don't have in this listing as a quantity of 0. So if I ever do get them, I can just go in there and enter a 1. I'm pretty sure if you don't change the setting, it'll still show its quantity of 0. But if you edit your listing at all, like all those will just disappear. I learned that the hard way. So the setting you want to change is listings stay active like when you're out of stock. So in order to change that setting, you need to go to your seller hub. You need to scroll down to site preferences. Then you need to scroll down to multi-quantity listings. And you want to click on listings stay active when you're out of stock. If you're doing listings with a lot of variation, you're going to want to have this on. What kind of sucks about this setting is if you list one-off stuff like I do, when you sell something, it's going to still show on your store, but it's going to show quantity of 0. So what I like to do is I just like to go in after I sell something and then end the listings. That's kind of the downfall of this setting, but it's worth it for me just to have my variations working correctly. So now that we got our quantities, you do have to start with an item photo URL or it won't upload. So what you can do for that is like Imgur, just upload one photo to Imgur just so it uploads. And later you're going to have to delete that photo and then put in your photos on eBay. I don't like to put my photos with photo URLs. I just don't see the point in that. I'm sure there's a faster way to do it, but I do upload one photo through Imgur just so it works, gets published to a draft or even to a listing, and then I go in later and put in all my pictures. And then we got our condition ID, ungraded, near mint or better. That's the ID there. And you can look up like what what condition IDs are and which ones you need to use. Then you got your description, format, fixed price, duration, good till canceled, location. Okay, so shipping. You can do this without shipping profiles, but it's better just to have your shipping profile. So I've made 2 shipping profiles, trading cards under $20. You need to write this exactly how your shipping profile is listed out in eBay. If you're taking eBay seriously, I suggest looking into shipping profiles and what they are and putting them in here. You can do this without shipping profiles. I don't know how, but it's a lot easier to me just to make the profiles and then your return profile and put it in there like that. I don't have a payment profile name in here and it still let me upload it. So maybe you don't need to put anything in here if you don't have shipping profiles. I suggest looking into them. I can make a video on shipping profiles. It's pretty simple. So for trading cards under $20, I have a shipping profile. I believe it's free shipping. So every time I make a listing of that card, I just choose my shipping profile instead of going through all the options. And I have a general return policy, returns within 30 days. You can have whatever return policy you'd like. CC game and all this set. And that's it. I didn't use all the rest of this. So now I'm going to go into like how I got organized with getting these onto a variation listing. Very simple, and we're just going to go through it together because I haven't made the listing yet. So I've got all my cards in alphabetical order. What I used is this site echomtg.com, really cool site, and I chose the set that I have, Modern Horizons 2. This actually gives you the price too. I wouldn't go with these prices exactly on the higher end cards. I would look up what they've sold for on eBay because what sold for on eBay is kind of higher than some of these other ones. So I filtered this by uncommons, so it's going to show me all the uncommons, and then I exported it to a CSV, which is an Excel sheet, which was really cool. So I can go over here to the Excel, and now I have all the uncommons of this set all right here, and I went in and I looked through my cards here, and I put all my quantities right here in the left panel. So I went through all my cards. I'm like, okay, I got 3 Abiding Grace, plug that in. Altar of Goit, 1, plug that in. What's cool about this spreadsheet it gave me, it also gave me, so like this card, Arcbound Javelier, Arcbound Shakiri, it gave me even a line for the showcase card. So on this particular card, there's 2 variants. There's the regular and then the showcase. So there's even a line for the showcase. So I put my quantity of 2 for the regular and showcase of 1. While I was going through this, I have some foil cards in here that were not listed on here. So I just added a row and I put foil by it. Let's see if I can find the one that I did that one on. Yeah, so it was this Flame Blitz. There wasn't a foil option here. So I just inserted a row and I put Flame Blitz foil and then I put a 1 next to it. Uncommon. I also put the card number there. There's actually a different card number. So I got all that. I plugged in all of my quantities, and then I also looked here at prices. For the highest price cards, I went on and see what they were sold for, and then I plugged in my own number there. Everything else I'm just going to put at like $1. Everything under that. That's usually how it goes on eBay. Cards, you know, a 50-cent card, people sell it for $1. You know, you got time and materials for doing all this. All right, so I'm going to close this spreadsheet. I'm going to go to this spreadsheet. So I know this spreadsheet is working. I'm going to create a copy of it. MH2 listing. I'm just going to save it in my Surging Sparks folder. All right, so now I can mess with this spreadsheet. It's not my other one. And we're going to keep our custom label SKU the same. CCG individual cards. Title. Okay, so here's where I use ChatGPT to help us out with this. So I'm going to go here. So I'm going to grab the card name and the number of the card. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to do a new workbook and I'm going to plug it in there. I'm going to save this. MH2 cards. I'm just going to save it straight on the desktop. So now what I was talking about with ChatGPT is we're going to go over to ChatGPT. I'm going to upload that file there, and I'm going to try to explain to it what I need. Sometimes this takes a second. First, I'm just going to have it put a card equals in front of every card. Also, combine the card number, which is row C. Put the card number after the card, like this example. And I'm also going to give it an example sheet, and it's going to be this Surging Sparks. The example is the worksheet called Working. The data we need to change is called MH2. Let's see what it does. Alright, so it's showing me what it's gonna do. Card equals abiding grace and the number. So that looks great, but I also want no spaces. So looks great, but take out spaces. Create a new file. Alright, so let's see what it did. Okay, so it gave us what we needed. It's all in this row I, and we can kind of just look over and make sure it kept the name of the card, which it did, and the number. So alright, so it did what we needed it to do. So now I can copy all of these card equals. Then I'll go over to our spreadsheet we're working on, MH2 listing, and we're just gonna go here. I don't know how long this is, and just paste them in. And I'm just gonna double check that one more time to make sure. So let's look at Abiding Grace is card number 1. Looks good. So now I'm just kind of auditing what ChatGPT did. Arcbound Whelp is card number 113. So we'll go over here, Arcbound Whelp 113. Looks good. It kept them all in order, which is very important. So what I do notice is that it kept these Pokemon ones in here. So this is from the old listing. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to delete these. I already know that this is where the magic one ends. So looks like it transferred over properly. So cool. So we just did all that very quick with ChatGPT. Over here we got the relationship variation. So now we need to take this. What I like to do is I just like to copy this. So I'm just going to copy all of these, and I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, and I'm going to give it an example first. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to take this and copy it. I'm going to paste this, and I'm going to shift return down. So I'm going to say this is an example. So now what I just did is I gave ChatGPT an example of my old listing. So I pasted that in the top, and I said, I'm just going to say the above is an example of what I need for these cards I'm about to paste. I need a card equals in the beginning, and I need you to list out all the cards, separating them with a semicolon and no spaces. I'll be pasting the cards I need done like this below. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go back to our workbook, and I'm going to copy all of these. Up, up, up. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go here and paste. And let's see if it does it. That was a big paste. Alright, looks like ChatGPT did that. It's giving us an example of what it's going to do. So it's going to say card equals, which is what we need for this top line here. It needs to list every card down here with no spaces, with a card equals before it. So it looks like it's going to do that. I checked that these are in order. So it says, would you like me to generate this string? Yes. Alright, so I'm just going to copy this. Okay, so I'll just show you what ChatGPT just gave me. So it says card equals, and it lists every card separated by a semicolon. So actually it put card equals in front of every one. So I don't need that. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT so it's going to show me what it's about to do. That looks perfect. It's already formatting it. So you just need card equals at the beginning in the description one. All right, so let's see what it just did. Card equals, and it's got a semicolon in front of every one. Looks good to me. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to paste that in the relationship details. Starting price here is going to be $1. Like I said, this is your top listing. You're going to have a quantity of 1 there. I don't know why it gets rid of my first variation. I'm just going to type it back in. Get rid of that space. Everything looks good there, all lined up. So now I've got my cards, my quantities. So now I'm going to update my prices. I just highlighted in green ones that are more expensive. So Counterspell is $2.99. I don't know if the currency format's going to mess that up, so I'm just not going to have currency format there. Cool, so I just went in and updated my prices to the cards that I know are worth more. I think I'm going to do $1.25 on everything. Why not? $1.17. I know my protectors that I ship with are 17 cents a piece, so let's cover that. I can always change this later if nothing's selling. Cool, so now for the photo URL, I'm going to go to Imgur. So right now the image doesn't really matter. I'm just uploading an URL. Grab a link. So I got the URL link. I'm going to go over here to my spreadsheet. I'm just going to put that there. Video ID, condition ungraded, near mint or better. Pack fresh. Cool. Format, GTC. Location. Trading cards under 20. General policy. CCG name. Magic the Gathering. Character card. I don't think we need that. Age level. Set. Modern. Horizons 2. This is kind of cool because there's drop down menus for you. Uncommon. Foil. Alright, so we basically got everything there besides the description. We actually did our description. I'm just making sure everything's good. And once you get this uploaded, you can kind of change different descriptions if you need to, or item descriptions, anything like that. So I want to say we're good to go. So I'm going to file, I'm going to save this, and let's see if it works. MH2 listing. All right, let's go to eBay. So in order to upload this, you're going to go to eBay, selling. You're going to go to create listing. You're going to do file upload. Upload template. Choose file. It's a moment of truth here. So we got our MH2 listing and we're uploading it. Not everything was uploaded, so let's download the results, see what happened. So we got a variation specifics provided does not match with the variation specifics of the variation item. So what that means is, unfortunately, this doesn't match what's down there. That's our problem. This happened to me on my other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to use ChatGPT for this. I'm going to say this is the specifics you gave me. I got an error, and I'm going to show ChatGPT that error. I'm going to show it that error. I'm going to show it that these are our cards. I've also attached a spreadsheet named working that works for reference. So I'm also going to attach a spreadsheet of my old listing so ChatGPT has a reference. See what it says about that. Cool, so ChatGPT says it fixed the parenthesis typos, preserved hyphens, and kept single cards. So Ghost Lit Drifter has a hyphen. It does have a hyphen, okay. Alright, so it's making our string again. So basically we just told ChatGPT that these cards down here are not matching what's going on up here. This is the error I was getting a lot on the other one. Let's see if that works. We'll save that. We'll come over here, selling, create listing, file upload, upload template, choose file. We're gonna refresh this because it didn't like that. eBay would be bugging sometimes. Your upload is complete. Alright, so that worked. Not sure why it gave us an error the first time and still listed it, but it's complete. So now what I do is I go over to selling, go to listings, active. I'm going to go here. Your listing is successful, but there was a problem with your gallery pictures. So that's what we need to work on now. So we're going to revise our listing. So here's all our attributes. We're going to go here, edit our attributes. So we got a default photo. So one thing you're going to want to do is delete this default photo. This is the Imgur link that didn't even work, but we needed to have it there in order to do it. So I'm just going to upload from computer. For now, I'm going to put a placeholder of this first card. That's going to be our main default photo for right now. I'm going to change that later. So for cards, we want to upload our own photos. Okay, so this is our default photo up here. Now what we want to do is we want to come here and choose each of these cards and add the photo there. So we got Abiding Grace. We're just going to drop it there. Then we got Altar of the Goyf. We're going to go here, drop that there. And we're going to do this with all the variations. Cool, so I just whipped up like a little cover photo. I might change that later. I was just doing it quick. And we've got all of our cards picture set up. So for cards that we don't have, it's just going to put the default photo for it. So I'm going to save that and close. I think that looks good for now. I can always update those prices later if I need to. I'm going to go free shipping on this. Alright, I'm going to revise it and we should be live now. Alright, listing has been revised. Go to active. Let's check it out. Cool, so here's our listing. It says pick your card, Modern Horizons 2. We can go around, choose our cards here. I took all these pictures. These are the actual cards. So we got our pictures, we got our quantities, 2 available of this one, pricing. And we're good to go. So that's how you can do a variation listing with an Excel spreadsheet. There's a lot to it, but I do believe it's faster and more efficient than doing it the other way. And the more you do it, the faster it gets. I even think there's probably a way to get ChatGPT to know how to do this. You just give it the information. So I'm going to look into something like that. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. I really appreciate you watching. Thanks for your time. Let me know if you liked the video, if you don't like it, if you want to see some more stuff like this. But anyway, appreciate you watching and thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.